another human into it. I'm just like, I don't know how y'all do it. I don't know. And I'm about to find out. I don't know, though.
For a few days.
Man.
I also thought, like, okay, I'm going to be one of those super moms that just do it all. It turns out that I can't.
What?
Because
That's crazy.
Yeah, it turns out I can't do it.
No way.
Oh, okay, you're being sarcastic.
No, I'm being sarcastic.
Yeah, all right, like right now, let me give you an example of what's happening right now. So business is slow, right? And then daycare got a little too expensive. So I'm like, I'm my own boss, so I'll take care of them. But now work is kind of slowing down on my end in terms of what my expectations are at work. And so I kind of have this internal dialogue like, Nat, you're not really pulling your weight. I wonder how morale is. Like, I'm kind of worried about it, you know, and it's been really hard. It's been a juggle because one, I want to be a stay-at-home mom, but then I don't. And I want to be like a full entrepreneur and take all these opportunities, but I can't, you know? So it's like, for example, with Big Mich, like we would put like easy like 12, 13-hour days. I can't do that anymore. I got to pick them up. I have to do this. I have to do that. And so right now that he's little, I'm taking advantage of him, like having the flexibility of putting him in a car and just having him go everywhere with me. But now he's, you know, he needs more. He needs more learning, more of everything. And so it's getting a little bit more higher maintenance with him. Also, he has autism. And so he has like theory today.
Never too shy. We are back. Ooh, cutting me off. You might ask his music over there.
Hi, guys.
Hi, Nestor. You want to take it away?
Yeah.
No. I just wanted to say hi.
I'm just messing. You made us his delicious micheladas, by the way, so you deserve to.
They are fire.
So good.
You deserve to.
They're so good.
Actually, Big Mich.
Hey, shout
Chicago's
out.
official michelada, everybody.
Official. You heard it here first.
Honestly, not just
here
because
first.
you're here, but I really do love Big Mich.
Thank you so
much.
much.
I love the
Facts.
brand. I've tried so many. I literally went to another store. I went to 3 stores right now because
Trying to get it.
because they didn't have it in stock anymore. So we went to Cermak right next door, and I'm like, oh my god, it's really good.
Let me write that down. Let me give him a call.
Right.
I love that.
Welcome
Making
to our
moves.
podcast.
Thank you so
Never
much
too
for
shy.
having me.
Yes.
We have
Thank you.
Natalie here, who is are you the only woman behind Big Mich?
Yes.
Stop it right now.
Yeah.
Period.
Oh my
love
God!
that.
Shout out.
Shout out.
Yeah.
Wait, what do you mean by that question?
I don't know if there's any other woman who's behind the operations.
Not right now, no. For a while, I did
Really?
have one of my really good friends helping me. Last year, she joined another company.
Yeah.
But right now it's just me.
That is so cool. So give us a little bit of a background, if you don't mind, about those who may not be as familiar, even though I'm sure 100% sure they are, about Big Mich. Is it Big Mich or Big Mich? Because I've been saying Big Mich this whole time, and now you confused me. But I think you're right.
I say Mich for
Mich
michelada,
too, yeah.
but
Yeah,
I
I say
don't.
Mich
I don't
too.
really. Yeah, I say Mich for michelada. Also stem from. So the other co-founder is my husband. He's from Michoacan, and so he kind of he would usually say like, "Oh, I'm from the Big Mich," you know, and that's he was talking about Michoacan.
Oh, that's actually kind of cool.
But then also we make a michelada, and also like, you know, BMF, like I think I'm Big Mich.
I love BMF.
So it's all kind of all cultures just
100%.
uniting in one name.
I love that.
And I don't know, I felt like we did like play with different names for the company, but Big Mich, the word big, it's a 4-letter word. Mich is, you know, we felt like it would be a good.
Very catchy.
Yeah, I feel
it
like
flows.
names are so powerful. Like
Yes.
names have so much
Like
power.
the Brow Bro.
Yes.
Yes.
Brow bro.
Exactly.
Shout
I
out.
say it.
Period.
I know the brow bro.
Yeah. So I think it's really smart to be intentional and like really go through the process of like what works for us. And I like the story behind what you just said with the different meanings, because that's awesome.
Yeah, so we started this in 2017. How many years is that? 7 years.
7 years. Yeah.
7 years. Javi, he has worked in bars and restaurants his whole life, and he was really burnt out. As you can imagine, like, people who work in the restaurant industry, like, you know, it's just
For sure.
it's a little bit of a masochism there, you know, it's hard work.
It is hard work.
But he loves making cocktails and drinks, and so we had just gotten married, and he's like, nah, I'm kind of burnt out. I was like, well, I got a full-time job. Like, right now we don't have a mortgage and we don't have a kid, so if we're gonna be entrepreneurs, like, now is the time. Because before that, I used to do makeup. And before that, he used to DJ like weddings and quinceañeras.
I was
So we
about to
both-
say your
I love that.
makeup's popping.
Oh, thank you.
Your
I was like,
eyebrows
oh,
are
God.
like
Well,
the
the brow
shit.
bros here. I had to pay extra
No, her
attention.
eyebrows are like bomb.
Oh, thank
I keep staring at your makeup because it's so beautiful.
Oh,
like,
thank you.
You know
I
what?
love her
I love the hustle. Like,
yeah.
Yeah, I've always been broke, so you know.
but I mean, now you're not. But now you're not.
Well, actually, no.
Yes, we're gonna dive into your story and about Big Mich, you and your husband Javi, motherhood, entrepreneurship, everything in between. We love that you are here today to share that story with us because, like I said, we mentioned off the air too that Women's History Month just passed. And I think it's so important to highlight just the amazing women in all of our lives. And like Nestor had thought of you for the podcast, and I was like, that is so iconic because I feel like I've never really heard your story.
Okay.
So I'm like, and I love Javi, I love the team.
Yeah, I don't really like being in front of the camera too
my
much.
God.
I kind of give it to him. I was like,
But
oh,
you're like
good
a
at it.
natural. Like I was telling you, you're a natural.
Yeah.
You are. You got this.
Okay, thank you.
We're going to dive into our affirmations first and foremost.
Okay.
So it's kind of how we kick off the show where it's like we do a little, I don't know, just like a little, it could be a sentence, could be even a word, whatever you're feeling, like your week or how it's going, whatever comes to mind.
A few years ago, I read this book from Louise Hay, and the big one in her book is you tell yourself, all is well in my world. And it's kind of a reminder of how blessed you are for the little things. So all is well in my world, all is well in my world, all is well in my world. And so you kind of like sit down, like, do I have shelter, water? Is my baby healthy? Is all of those things. And I'm so happy and blessed that I can check off a lot of those lists, you know? And so it's kind of a good affirmation for myself to not focus on the little stressors so much and just remind myself how lucky I am.
That's good. Like to meditate on that all the time. All is well.
Sometimes
All
you
is well in
have
my
to.
world, yeah.
I love that.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
You want me, Michelada?
Right.
Cheers.
That's how we say Big Mich or Michelada we should drink.
Okay.
Even though this is non-alcoholic.
I was about to say, this is non-alcoholic.
But
Yes.
cheers to Big
So
To be clear.
you don't have to drink alcohol to support.
Right.
Mich.
Period.
Yes.
What you put in it? Topo Chico?
Topo Chico. I was wondering whether to go with Topo Chico or Jarritos, but I went with Topo Chico. I always like Topo Chico more. But yeah. My affirmation for this week. So, you know my brothers.
I do.
She knows all my
Shout out
siblings,
to the Rivera
actually.
family.
Oh, wow.
Thank you. You know what? This is what I was gonna say. Like, I remember like a couple years ago, my brother's house burned down, and we actually reached out to Big Mich. I don't know if you were aware of that.
Yeah.
But they actually were able to help with donating some michelada. We did a whole fundraiser, and so I always think about you guys about when it comes to that.
And you guys also have so for a little time I owned a corner store, and so his brothers have distribution companies, so I would buy some of the products that they would sell. But in that, like, it was a pleasure really working with them. But they gave me so many stuff to give, because a lot of my clientele were little kids because I'm right by a school. So they gave me like free stuff to give away to the kids all the time. So your whole family is like big into like, philanthropy, fundraising, all
For
that
sure.
stuff,
Yeah.
and into the community.
Yeah.
So I love that. And all you guys, or at least the men that I met, are all family men. They love their children and their families, and they're all entrepreneurs as well. And it's pretty cool.
Yeah, appreciate that.
Yeah.
But with that, there's also like always that friction, And lately, I've been bumping heads with my little brother. You know my little brother, Israel, the one that owns the store.
Yeah.
And so, like, there's times where I'm like, we're so in our affirmation part of the show, but I'm always thinking like, oh my God, like, should I just like split from him, like us doing business, But then I went with them the other day to go eat some. I went to the buffet, and I hate being like that person that opens up like the fortune cookie and then says like,
Why?
but I don't know, because I feel like it's kind
I
of cheesy.
love it. Oh, I love.
But
I
then,
live for cheesy shit.
but then I opened it and I was right next to my niece and I was mad at my brother for I forgot for what, and then I opened it and the little sign that came out was don't be afraid of opposition. Remember, a kite rises against the wind.
Wow.
And so like I was just thinking about that, like sometimes he makes me so mad or we make each other mad, but in that like we come out better in that, you know. And so this really made me think about that, you know. Like you're the kite and he's the wind.
Yeah.
He's, you know, so I'm coming out a better person. But obviously, like, they're good people, like you said. Like I'm so grateful for each and every one of them because, like you said, they're all hustlers, you know. And yeah, so that's
awesome.
my affirmation.
I love it.
I could go.
Yeah.
My affirmation is you are what you consume. And so it kind of goes with like the energy you put into the universe comes back. But like for me, I feel like social media is such a huge influence on all our lives, whether people want to admit it or not. So it's like this idea of your algorithm, like what keeps popping up in your algorithm, that's typically what you're consuming. So you have a choice on what you consume. And so if you want more like positive energy to be around you and surround your life, like actually look for positivity, consume things that make you feel good and inspire you and motivate you. And just hearing you all talk right now, like I'm consuming this information. And it's like I feel very proud to sit here around, you know, badass hardworking women, but just like with big hearts, like what you said about like helping Nestor's family. I think that's beautiful. So mine is just you are what you consume. So think about your algorithm. What is it showing you? Like it's kind of like a reflection of who you are and what you are. Yeah.
That's a good one. So I think my affirmation is I think it's kind of based on like what I've been seeing lately on social media, speaking of social media. And I think, I don't know if this is nice or not. Like you guys know, sometimes I get a little messy with mine. But like for me, I've been seeing this a lot lately from like just different people. And I'm like, oh my God. But looking for validation on the internet is crazy. It's crazy. Like, I don't know if, and listen, like the old Kanye, and I don't want to hear from either one of you.
Oh, God.
The old Kanye once said that we're all, what does he say? We're all self-conscious, but I'm the first to admit it. And that was a bar, and that will forever be a bar because, like, I truly think everybody is.
Facts.
Oh, I don't care who you are. You could be the most confident fucking person on planet Earth. You could be like a fucking Playboy model. I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
You're still like, everybody has insecurities and
course.
or like things they're self-conscious about.
Yes.
But like to take it to the internet, to the place where I'm just like, I can like see through it almost. I'm just like, girl, boy, whatever. Like to me, I'm just, and listen, we all have the right to express ourselves. I'm not saying not to. But I do think that sometimes people need to get off the internet and get into their therapist's office. I do. And I have a therapist. I can say that. I love therapy.
I'm my hot take on that is like, I'm not a big fan of people who cry in front of their camera.
Oh, the crying.
Like, my thing is like, you're that sad, you had all that energy to open up your camera phone and like hit record and cry. Like I don't know. It's just, I don't understand it.
I honestly, for me, I think that can coexist. Like, I see where you're coming from. Like you said, if you have all this energy to put it on social media, you can also go get help. But also, like, I don't know. When people are posting stuff like that, to me, it's like they're crying for help. And so for me, I don't take it like that. Only because I've been there. And so because I've been there, not crying, you know, on social media about things. But it's like I tell my brother, one of my brothers, he's like, well, we had it hard. Like one of them will say that. So like, you just gotta, you know, get yourself out of that. I'm like, yeah, but things affect people differently. You know what I'm saying? And so because and I feel like maybe when I don't have kids, but when you have kids, you'll see that more. You know what I'm saying? Like my mom always tells us that. Like she tells us, she has 5 kids. She's like the palm of my hand. I have 5 kids, 5 fingers, and you guys are all different. And so this one might be a crybaby on social media, and this one might not. And they were all raised by the same person.
Yeah.
But you just have to keep that in mind. And that's another thing. I keep in mind that person crying out on the internet is somebody's kid. You know what I'm saying? And so the way I look at it is like, if you want to cry about it, cry about it. You know what I'm saying?
Mr.
Like,
Empathy.
I'm just saying.
Have you guys ever like had a crying fit and then you go look at yourself in the mirror and then you're so ugly you just bust out laughing?
Yeah.
Like you're like, oh, I'm so sad. And you see yourself and then you start laughing. Like, oh my God, let me get myself together.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't think I could cry on social media just because there's something in me that doesn't like showing vulnerability.
I get that.
Yeah, so I don't want my ops to see me cry. You know?
My
No, I'm just kidding.
I get it though.
I
I get that.
I get that.
I get that.
But it's like, and I respect it, but also I don't judge it when someone's doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I totally get you. I think my issue is just when someone does it like repetitive.
Yeah.
Where it's always the same song.
Kind of
Yeah.
the same song and
Same.
dance, you know, and it's not like anything even happened. It's just I think also too what I'm referring to is like your insecurity is showing through things that you're saying because you're trying to come off a certain way, but like I can see through that.
Yeah.
And that for me is like really hard because I'm not that I'm like this huge authentic person, but I like to think that I am because I do live my life authentically. I always say, I got it from another radio personality in New York because he always says this in his book too. And it's like, live your truth so no one can use it against you.
Period.
Oh, wow.
I don't care how like embarrassing it is. If I did something, I'm like, oh shit, I did that. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Because you can never use it against me. And like, I love when people try to go like, I gotcha. But it's like,
Yeah.
you really
You
didn't.
don't, right.
I literally said it. If I said it, I said it. You know, I did it.
There was. I'm so sorry.
no, go ahead.
Jinx. For
I
any
draw that way?
reason, Jinx. Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
I feel like if I don't touch the
No,
cup,
there is. I'm not gonna make her stretch, and I don't feel like
I
enough.
can't. I love you, but
She said, I don't feel like
There was the post that it's like be better in real life, not just social media. And it's like I am better in real life and in social media.
I like that.
You
You
know
see
what?
what's happening to J-Lo?
Oh, that's what we're gonna talk about. We're gonna talk about that right now. But what I will
hate
say
her right now.
what I will say to some of you, my friend,
her.
is just mute them. If you don't want to see it, just mute it.
I have done that.
Like me, what I
Yeah.
do with a lot of people with what I can't stand are people just always like going through relationship problems with their people and then like posting it online.
that is crazy too.
Yeah.
So that is like, to me,
Especially you're
that's-
gonna like dog your partner or like
Yes.
spill your
So what do I do?
dirty laundry, and then you're gonna be back together.
Yeah. So what do? I just mute them. What I don't want to see, I mute it, and that's it.
There you go.
Because you are what you consume.
Exactly.
Facts. Love
You
it.
see how our
But we're gonna go-
affirmations like click.
We
I
did
like
want
it.
to talk about the J-Lo thing.
We have to mention it.
I don't know what's going on, but let's get it.
Yes.
So
J-Lo right now with Tati's BFF / mother.
I still ride for her.
everything.
I still ride for her.
Okay.
Yes.
Ooh,
that's
ding,
number
ding,
one.
ding. I'm just kidding.
J-Lo is being currently dragged right now through
Yeah.
the internet. And it's a couple different things, you know, based on her documentary that just came out.
Yeah.
Her unfortunate sales tickets to her
Right.
concerts getting, you know, canceled, and then old clips coming up, resurfacing, and this
People
whole
saying like they weren't treated nicely.
they
by
were
her.
not
Right.
treated well by her. She's not from the block like that.
Mm-hmm.
Woo woo woo.
She was like a girl from the.
I know.
And she like
I
does
know.
the hair thing.
When I was a little girl, when I was 16,
Yeah.
went through the block, the Bronx, I'm like, oh. Yeah, Tati, how do you feel about your girl? Going
Look
through
at,
it.
I'm a real ride or die friend, and that's my girl.
You are
so I
right.
still ride for her. I mean,
So
let
you
her
will-
get in her bag. I mean, I get it. I understand people probably haven't maybe had the best experience with her, but like, let's be honest. Like, if you're a celebrity, people like all day, every day are just in your face, and some days you don't have the best days. And like, she's human at the end of the day. Yes, I get she chose to be a celebrity and have, you know, all this influence, but she's still a human, and like I'm gonna ride for her no matter what. So I'm gonna go to the concert. Hopefully we gonna meet her.
Hopefully.
And I'll tell her I'm gonna tell her when I meet her, I'm gonna look her in the eyes and be like, girl,
You're not
Crazy
allowed.
girl
You're not
vibe.
allowed to look at her in the eyes though.
I
How
ride
was
for
the-
you.
How was the hair?
Okay, I'll look her in the nose.
Right
Like
in the
I
middle.
ride for you.
But do the hair again. That's funny.
No, but J-Lo, to me, she's always been like this Latina girl. Her style is impeccable. Her makeup is impeccable. Like when I see her, like I want to see what she's up to, like beauty wise. Like she has it like down. Like
she does.
she's an icon in that way. Like you can't
Yeah.
say anything about the way she looks or dresses, and I think she's always ahead of it, and she's so confident in the way she looks. But I'm a little bit, when I started hearing these stories, I was a little disappointed because it's
Yeah.
like, dang, so she is really like this all the time. Because I had heard stories like years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that's
then
what
they
I was
kinda
gonna say. It's always
resurface.
been around.
Yeah,
So.
it's interesting because like I met her and she was the nicest person
really?
ever.
Yeah.
We were partners in a game together. Yeah,
That's crazy.
They didn't know my
What did
name.
she smell like?
Beautiful,
I bet.
beautiful.
So much.
I literally wanted to smell her
much.
chair after. I was like, I love you.
I can't even look at that right now.
Didn't know my name. I know I wanted to sniff it, but she didn't know my name. But she was going like this, like because she wanted me to say the name of the song for the game, whatever we were playing. And I was her partner or whatever. I was her phone a friend, and I was like, oh, it's Christina Aguilera, blah blah blah, right? And she like was so fun. Like she played. You said what?
I said if she
She's
did that to
just-
me, I would
she's
cry.
Oh, I know.
She's fangirling things.
Yeah,
or
I
however
think
you
would
say
have been
it.
like I don't even know. We
I'm
would
gonna
have.
tattoo her fingerprint on me.
You would have been like at Rush Hospital or something.
Yeah.
Okay,
facts.
continue
Go,
with
yeah,
it.
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. So she was like super nice, and then we took pictures together after. I wore my Selena shirt not on purpose. I didn't know she was coming that day, so it was like kind of funny. I was like, oh, I didn't do it on purpose, but like, haha, you know, my Selena shirt. And yeah, she was just super nice. But
Well, that's refreshing. I'm happy to hear that.
thank you. And I'm like,
Yeah.
that's why I feel really bad about like these other stories. I'm not discrediting it because I can see the diva-ness. So she, I mean, even when she came to us, she had to come through a different elevator, but that's not uncommon.
Yeah.
But she like did request certain things, but it's still like, you know, it makes me sad because you love an artist or someone so much, and then you hear these stories and like, that's fucked up.
And I also feel like, think about it. Besides this, like a lot of people were never like. I feel like there's more people who don't mess with J-Lo than do. I feel like there's so many people who like just hate on her because she can't sing. She's not a good actress. Oh, she's only famous because of Selena. Or talking about her love life. So I feel like she kind of has to like make certain moves and come off a certain way because it's almost like she always has a target on her back. No matter what. That's how I feel.
You
And
know-
I feel like I relate
I
to
see what
her.
you're saying.
You know what? I've always given her flowers because I do agree. Like she's not the greatest singer, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But for someone who's not the greatest singer, be such a badass like that.
Performer.
Yes, it's the
she's
confidence.
a performer. No, she's a
Yeah.
performer.
Entertainer.
That to
Entertainer
me,
for sure.
you deserve your flowers. Now,
Facts.
something that you said earlier, kind of like it did rub me the wrong way because you said something like, "Oh, I don't care how she is. Like, I'm still gonna write for you."
Yeah, I'm
Like,
gonna write for her.
So-
And I'm gonna tell her, people don't like this. I love you though. But
So to me, like, whether you're whoever, you know, like, if you're flawed or whatever, or something's going on, I'm gonna tell you. You know what I'm saying?
well,
The
I don't
way
know
that-
her like that.
What?
So if I have one meet and greet with her, do you think I'm gonna be like,
You got, like,
girl,
10 seconds,
right?
yeah.
Like
But
I'm
no.
not gonna be like, listen, you
But-
need to be better. No, I love
No,
her.
My thing is like,
What's different if she's like my friend? Like I get what you're saying.
no, this is.
I
the
get what
thing.
you're saying.
If something came out, and this person that you like thought the world of,
I think it
and
depends what it is.
I'm just saying, like,
No, I'm sure if she did something that bad, I'd be super disappointed and like,
Yeah.
damn girl,
Now-
like I was rooted for you.
now that doesn't mean that what you thought about her, all this, her accomplishments just went down the drain. It doesn't. To me, it doesn't.
No, but it's a disappointment.
You know what I'm? Yeah, it's a disappointment.
Yeah.
It is.
But it will. I won't like stay. How can I say this? I won't continue to like have that opinion in my head just because of the fact that this is who she is. Like this person is a badass, and so I'm always gonna think this of her.
I just my personal opinion, like I don't think it's that okay, she's a diva. Like she didn't do anything bad, like support the Holocaust or anything. Like
But I will say,
Yeah, there's like levels
like
to
there's
how you
level
wanna
there's
cancel
levels
somebody.
to it. Like
Yeah.
she didn't do anything that's like, damn, I
Harmful
can't write.
to
Yeah, I'm
humanity.
like, okay, you're a diva.
but I will say this, and maybe you can like chime in this. But like I could be like, I'm not gonna lie, like in the store I could be a bitch. Like I am.
What?
Are you like J Lo?
Oh my god. No, he's not
I
like
might
J-Lo.
be like J-Lo's
You're like Ben
nephew.
Affleck.
But like her nephew. But I am a bitch in the store, like
What do you mean? That you
so
you're-
like no, so when the guys are not like on it, like because we have a whole
Oh,
team.
The store that you're running.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant like a
when you're out
Duolingo.
shopping. I thought when you were out shopping,
No,
that
no,
you're
no,
rude
no.
to like.
You're like a
no.
bitch
Oh,
at Shop
okay.
and Save or something.
No, I'm saying when I'm part of a team, like, and I'm learning how to be nicer because I do feel like sometimes, like, when I walk into the store, like, some of the guys will just like start running the opposite way, and I don't want to have that effect because,
Oh, wow.
or they'll start like grabbing a broom and sweeping, and it's
Well,
like,
they should have been doing that because that
But-
means
so-
they're not doing what they should do.
so like
Being a boss.
to your defense.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, it's my friend. But to your defense, like there's times that I am like that, and I don't know if this is the right saying. Like there's two sides to a coin, but that's what it is. Like someone can't be that person all the time. Like I can't entertain everyone all the time.
Yeah, no.
People that are very close to me, when they come to the house, it's like I'm gonna watch my show, and you can watch the show or watch it with me, but you're not gonna expect Nestor.
Yeah, you're not gonna put a dog and pony show every day for
so
people. Yeah,
I also do like kind
you're
of like
human. I mean, we're not machines. We're not robots. We have emotions. We have off days. We have, like I feel like we need to give people grace. Like at the end of the day, like I said, I'm a ride for her because so far nothing's been like controversial. Like how dare she? But yeah, it sucks. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. If she was rude to me, I'd probably cry. I'd be like, I defended you. Go watch this episode of the podcast. I was rooting for you, but
I had Nestor by the hair.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, yeah.
But so, what about you?
Yeah, I've struggled with that personally. So I'm sure like everybody, we've had horrible bosses where they're just. I'm the type of employee where I understand like work first and then you can make friends and or you can joke around but as you're getting your work done.
Correct.
But I've also had bosses that are just kind of plain mean or rude or disrespectful or just don't really care to see eye to eye with it. And I swore to myself, if I ever own my own business, I'm not going to be that boss.
Yeah.
So
are you that boss?
I'm not that boss.
No,
I'm a nice boss. But on the flip side of that, I've had internal struggles with as a boss and how to approach an individual that I want to like fix a certain behavior, or I want them to pick up this task a little bit better, or I've noticed that they're slacking off here. Those type of conversations, because I swore to myself that I wouldn't be this boss. Like, okay, how can I approach, right? And so sometimes I'll look stuff up and what's the best way to approach somebody. But to be honest with myself, like I have to, and with everybody here, like sometimes it'll take me like a week or two to finally approach that employee about it, because I don't want them to get mad at me, but I also want to be fair, and I don't want like to leave a bad taste in anybody's mouth. At the most, Big Mich has had 13 employees. Right now we're a little bit smaller. We're not as busy right now. It's kind of we're mostly like a summertime and then the holidays.
Okay.
So it's kind of been it's a roller coaster. Like I thought I knew myself, right? But then when you really come down to time to like approach somebody and have that conversation, it's a whole different story.
I'm wondering, so you said you're the only woman,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
So do you feel like being the only woman, you have to even think harder about how you run the business, how you talk to your employees, because they may look at you like, oh, she's the wife. Even though this is your business, but do you ever feel like people probably don't take you as seriously as they
Absolutely.
should?
And it's not within my own company. Everybody at Big Mich is amazing, and they've all known me for a long time, but it's the people outside. So, for example, I'm working with a vendor. We're negotiating a price on this or this and that, and then I introduce them to my husband, and then before you know it, something comes up and they text him. But the conversation has been with me the whole time.
Wow.
So I get a little hurt, like, he texted you? Like, and then I check my phone to see if we're in a group message, and I'm not. And then I'll find ways to kind of bring it back to me, because they'll see like he's not necessarily in charge of that certain project or whatever the case is.
Oh my God, I'm mad for you.
Yeah,
I'm like shocked.
I am mad for you.
It happens. Yeah. So like they'll meet us, and then eventually I don't know, maybe, I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah. So
You know what though? I will say this, that somebody once told me this, and it always like got stuck in my brain. Is humility demands respect. When people act like that and you remain humble, like it'll come back. Life has a way to coming back to you, and so I feel like sometimes that can cause us to like basically make us doubt ourselves, but I respect that. I respect the way I feel like you move. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So that does come up, but nothing like internally.
Okay. Well, that's good. I mean, yeah.
Well, my tia works there. So right now my tia's in Mexico, but my tia works. My best friend was working. So I've had like majority men working at Big Mich. It's kind of a labor's job. Like a case of micheladas is like 30 pounds, and like pallets come in and jars, so. But yeah, I've had girls and it's been great. But yeah, it's a mostly male dominated. The michelada industry is tiny, right? But the wholesaling and things like that is pretty male dominated.
I don't know if it's okay to ask, but what is your role in Big Mich?
So I call myself executive management, which I talk to. So my husband's like, we call him president. But right now, we're kind of a jack of all trades, right? I have to do a lot of it. But basically, I make sure that everybody's on there. If we have a project down the pipeline, hey, how's that project going? What do you need from me? What can we do better? Let's collab. Like tomorrow, we're going to meet about marketing, like, because our graphic designer, he left. He's working for another company doing like exhibition setups. It's really cool.
Yeah.
But now we don't have it. And so now we have to kind of think of our own ideas and stuff like that. And so that's tomorrow. But just before I got here, I was preparing the online orders that came in. And so I sent them out. I took them to UPS. So I do a lot of different things. Yeah.
Absolutely. And what about too, like you were mentioning earlier in the show, like that, you know, you guys had like your own businesses, right? And you were doing makeup.
Oh, yeah.
And Javi was DJing.
Oh, the hustle.
So like, yeah, the hustle, because, you know, we all broke and I related to that hard. How did then this come to be?
Yeah.
Okay, so Javi was burnt out from the restaurant. And he knows how to make drinks. So he was making margaritas and michelada as well. I was working for the state of Illinois at the time, actually.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was not fun. But that's a different story.
She said that.
It was not fun.
She said, it's not a wow. It's a, thank God.
Yeah, so he started doing that for about a year. That's when it started to really like kick off. And he's like, hey, Nat, either he had his best friend working for him at the time. And then he's like, hey, Nat, like I need more help. The business is growing. So either we hire someone else or you jump ship. And it took me like 2 months. I was like, I'm going to lose benefits, my 401k. Like, is this something I want to do? And I'm like, yeah, but I don't like working here. And so eventually I quit. And then once that happened, we started to put like actual like nutrition facts on it, getting into liquor stores. And then within the first year, we were into 30 liquor stores. And then today we're in about like almost 300 liquor stores.
Wow.
And
I didn't
grocery
even know
stores
that.
carry the
Like that.
product.
Whoa.
Well, you know, it's been like 7 years in the
Yeah.
making, you know. It doesn't feel like it, but
Yeah, 7 years.
No,
Yeah,
but
so the
I
michel-
say like that, like 30,
Oh.
from 30 to 300.
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't even know you sold products in
Oh,
stores.
okay.
Yeah.
I genuinely
festivals
didn't.
mostly?
Yeah,
I knew everything.
because I was never, and this is a true story, not just because you're here. I was never a michelada person ever, and it wasn't until 2 years ago at the House Music Festival.
oh, okay.
My friend bought me a michelada from you guys, and I was like, I don't really drink these, and I did. I was like,
It's
this is
good.
not a
Thank you,
michelada,
yeah.
and they're like, it is, and I was like, okay, I've never had one like this.
Oh, good.
So anytime you guys are somewhere, I definitely go,
thank
and like
you.
shout out to Paulina's baby shower. He was
Oh,
killing
yeah,
it.
he was there. That's
Yeah,
right.
but now I'm like, okay, I could drink a michelada now, but I've only drank yours.
Me and Javi used to, before we got married, we used to go on dates and try different micheladas from different restaurants.
Oh my god,
Oh, that's
how
cute.
So romantic.
That's so
We
cute.
would like cross arms. No, I'm just kidding. No.
Let's see, let's try it.
Yeah, that's how.
Can they even do
yeah,
it?
That's
Oh,
exactly.
shit.
Mine is so good, I already drank it.
That's
I
how exactly
know.
how
You
it
can
is.
have some of mine
finished
if
it.
you want. I'm getting a little heartburn. But
There's some bad micheladas out there.
Yeah.
There has to be.
There are.
There's some bad ones. And I feel like, hey, why did you make this so horrible? Are you tasting what I'm tasting, you know? And I think a good michelada has balance. A good michelada, it has a clamato base, but the lime like outweighs it, right?
I can see
Sometimes
that.
it could be too tomatoey, or sometimes people will just put straight hot sauce in it with beer, and it's like, it should have limon, salt, pepper. It should have a little bit of that sweetness. It's umami. It's
For sure.
Has anybody ever tried to like make you a michelada and you're like, this is not that
actually
good?
no. I don't. Maybe because I haven't. I don't know. No one's
They're
like
too
just
intimidating.
maybe like at those random restaurants where
We should have a competition and see who can make the best michelada,
Okay,
and
yeah.
she
That would be
tries
so
it.
cool.
No, not that I do it.
Yeah, no, I
Like
would.
I want to taste them,
Same. I want to be a judge.
but I want her to like. I want to see like kind of like American Idol, but like for micheladas.
taste test like a panel.
American lada.
I have a question. So you know how like, so I do eyebrows because I'm the bra bro.
Right.
Subtle plug.
Right. Let me plug myself.
So when I look at other people's eyebrows, or I also braid,
Don't look at mine. They're so bad.
or
He's gonna fix them later.
or when I look at other people's braids, like a lot of people expect me to like talk shit about somebody else. You know what I mean? Do you ever, like, have you ever talked shit about another?
Yes.
Do you
michelada?
talk
Yes. Yes,
Or-
I talk shit about this company, this company.
Or do people ever put you in a place where like they kind of almost like are
They try to get you to talk shit?
antagonize you? Does that happen?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like
Like
okay,
what we're
first-
doing right now?
First of all, I love micheladas, right? I love micheladas even if they're not a Big Mich micheladas.
Yeah.
And if it's a good michelada, I'll give it their,
Yeah.
you know.
The flowers, yeah.
They're flowers.
Yeah.
So I don't like talking shit about, I don't like drinking bad micheladas, you know, so.
Who does, right?
Right. And then other companies, yeah, like for example, I'll have customers. It's mostly customers like, hey, so I tried so-and-so's and I don't really like it. And they'll like wait for me to kind of be like, yeah, it's bad. But I try not to like.
They suck.
Yeah, I try not to.
No, I mean, yeah, you're like you're professional, you know, at the end of the day. So I don't think.
Yeah,
so.
and it's not really a lot of us in the michelada game, so I don't necessarily feel the need to like go up against each other when I have like real competition, like Modelo, who's making modelos and micheladas in a can.
Oh,
and
that's true.
I feel like those are like the competition really. Like amongst us, I think we could really build up the culture
I love that.
and then go after.
Oh my
Yes,
gosh,
queen.
I'm so sickening with it.
Also,
That was
too,
Yes.
so Natalie, you became a mom about 2 years ago.
Yeah, 2.5 years ago.
Woo. Wow.
I'm a whole ass mom.
Congratulations.
I don't know what I was thinking, but I took life seriously and I became a mom.
I say that all the time. I'm like, I don't know what I was thinking. I outdid myself with this one.
Yeah, like, fucked around and found
I got
out.
promoted.
I got my team at work shirts that said "fuck around and find out." That's how I told them. I was like, "I got you guys something," and
That's
they were so
funny.
confused. I'm like, "It says fuck around and find out." That is so funny. So becoming a mom, right? And you know, like I always say that I have like very like I don't know if I hold moms who have like businesses and just other things going on, just because I know that it can be challenging.
Yeah,
you know,
definitely.
I already feel like there's not enough time in a day. So now let's add a newborn or a toddler, right? Another human into it. I'm just like, I don't know how y'all do it. I don't know. And I'm about to find out. I don't know, though.
For a few days.
Man.
I also thought like, okay, I'm gonna be one of those super moms that just do it all. It turns out that I can't.
What?
Because
That's
real.
crazy.
yeah, it turns out
No,
I
I
can't.
know.
I can't do it.
No way.
Oh, okay, you're being
No, I'm
sarcastic.
being sarcastic.
Yeah. Like all right. Like right now, let me give you an example of what's happening right now. So business is slow, right? And then daycare got a little too expensive. So I'm like, I'm my own boss, so I'll take care of them. But now work is kind of slowing down on my end in terms of what my expectations are at work. And so I kind of have this internal dialogue like, Nat, you're not really pulling your weight. I wonder how morale is. Like, I'm kind of worried about it, you know, and it's been really hard. It's been a juggle because one, I want to be a stay-at-home mom, but then I don't. And I want to be like a full entrepreneur and take all these opportunities, but I can't, you know? So it's like, for example, with Big Mich, like we would put like easy like 12 13-hour days. I can't do that anymore. I got to pick him up. I have to do this. I have to do that. And so right now that he's little, I'm taking advantage of him like having the flexibility of putting him in a car and just having him go everywhere with me. But now he's, you know, he needs more. He needs more learning, more of everything. And so it's getting a little bit more higher maintenance with him. Also, he has autism. And so he has like today he had a therapist appointment at 10:30, which isn't like the most convenient time for a work day, right? So I didn't come into work until today, till basically lunchtime. So noon, that's when I went in.
Okay.
And I had to kind of fixate a few hours on what I wanted to accomplish. And I knew that I wanted to get these online orders out. And so things like that, where I feel like sometimes as a mother, your time is just not yours anymore. And Javi, he's a total hands-on dad. Like, thank God he's super hands-on, and I don't really, but when it comes down to time, like, if he gets sick, like, that's on me, because I'm just better at it. If he was better at it, I'd give it to him. But I am, and I have to be honest. And what's better for my child? Or it's a Sunday, he has a fever. Okay, what clinic am I going to take
Mama
him
bear
to?
kicks in, right?
Yeah, definitely. So I definitely had to reduce the amount of work because my child needed more from me.
Yeah.
But
Sure.
he has humbled me in a way like where like all is well in my world. Like if he's okay, all this other BS happening, like I'm okay. Because if something was to happen to him, my whole world would just collapse.
You're a good mom.
So
Oh,
yeah.
it's making me miss my mom.
Oh, that's
Yeah, for real. Like now I understand like how much my mom loves me.
Oh,
Dude, it's crazy.
Why do I want to?
My mom always tells us like there isn't another, because we believe in God, right? She said there's nobody's love closer than a mother and
Thank
her
God.
and her baby
Yeah.
after God's.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
So yeah.
My baby.
Yeah, that's cool. You're a great mom. You could tell.
Really?
Yeah, I can
You
tell
are.
that. And you know what I was
Thanks.
gonna say? Like, I think the good thing about being like an entrepreneur, sometimes I don't pronounce words right, but is that things don't have to look a certain way. Like, it could look the way you want it to look, you know, and you can always change things up. And I think
that's a plus.
That's the beauty of it.
It's a major plus.
Yeah.
Where I don't have to like ask my boss for PTO, or I don't have to.
Hey, my son's sick at school. I gotta leave, and
Yeah, right. It's like peace. Bye.
look in the mirror, boss.
Yeah,
you got
but,
the day off.
but in the back of my head, I'm low key like kind of beating myself up. Like, I wish I was able to accomplish this, or I wish I had more time in the day.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know? So I need to still 2 years later, I'm still kind of battling with like my career, right? Versus like.
Yeah, and I think that happens because there's comparison. You know what I'm saying? Like inside of us, we're always trying to compare ourselves. That's something that like I'm learning to like take that out, you know, out of me, because it happens all the time. Like we talk about it in the show all the time. Like we'll compare each other, or we'll compare each other to somebody else, or within my siblings, and I'm tired of that, you know. And I think you have to just get tired of putting yourself against this idea of you that you should be here. Like, no, I shouldn't be anywhere that I don't want to be.
Right.
Like, this is what I want to do. These are the people that are important in my life. Now, how do I get it done? You know what I'm saying? It doesn't have to look a certain way, you know? Because I think when we do that, we continue to like be in a place of like putting ourselves down, you know?
Right.
And
You're just
that's
fighting
yeah.
against yourself.
And then you're not productive. You know, you're not. I start seeing that I start not being good at what I do, which I do eyebrows. Which
Hey,
is eyebrows.
what do you do now? Eyebrows.
What's your name? The
The
brow.
bro. Which, you know, I'm not productive at my job. I stop being a bad son. I start being a bad uncle. Everything falls apart because I'm just constantly comparing myself, and that's just so like
It's toxic.
like, yeah, it's toxic. It's death. And that's why like I tell my brother all the time, because he does that too, like, but we do it jokingly. But there's times where like I have to tell him now. It's like, no, don't do that, dude. Like, don't do that. And I like everybody, and it's crazy that me and my brother, it's bad and it's good, because we are like, me and my brothers can be very public about it, but then our love and our like who we are and our hustle is very public too, you know. So I guess it balances out, but we're learning how to not do that, you know?
Yeah, I'm still learning on how to do that.
Yeah.
On how to not do that. It's a battle. Because, like, next week I'll be on top of I'll be in the clouds. And then
Yeah.
next week,
That's life, right?
Yeah, I think so.
You said like a lot of your time is not for you. So
Oh, yeah.
I want to ask the question, how do you make time for yourself? Even if it's like a small increment of like 15 minutes, like what do you do for you?
That's something I'm working on.
Ooh, that's a good question.
I would say...
She's like, Tati, I just said it. All my time is my baby's time.
Well, even
Okay,
if it's
I'm
5
just kidding.
minutes.
Lately, it's been hard because my son, he's been staying up late. And now that took away the me time.
Oh, I
We're
see.
trying to get him to sleep in his own bed, but he comes out and then he's like super hyper and then he wants, so it's kind of been hard for our time lately. I don't know. I don't really have much. I got to work on it. I'm just being honest.
No, yeah.
That's real though. Sometimes like you just have to, I don't know, make the time and
Oh, that's not true. I hang out with my friends.
Oh,
There you go.
that's nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I love that.
kinda
Friends are
arrange,
good.
at least a
She said,
once
oh,
a
I have
month.
friends.
I got friends. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so I'll get together with my friends at least like once a month, and it's like
that's
4
nice.
of us. We're all tight knit, and I think that's it. Cause
yeah.
I'm an extrovert. You know, so I do need a little bit of that social
Yeah, that's part of who you are.
interaction. It is.
Right.
I was gonna say, like, it's very it gives me peace that that you're so vulnerable about these things.
Yes.
Because like it makes me feel like I'm not crazy. And then also I feel like there's a lot of people out there that when they see somebody that has their own business, they have a certain depiction of us, you know, or you know.
Yeah.
And it's not what it seems like, you know. It's not what we post all the time. It's like like you said, we have to post those things, the things that we do post. Like everything's intentional, but I think you being so vulnerable about that it's so like precious, you know.
Yeah, because I feel like what I see online is a lot of like super moms, right? But what about like the moms that are like kind of struggling? You know, like you don't really see that too much. So I feel like I need to be honest too, because what if someone out there is also kind of like, you know, balancing that?
Yeah, just fair to say, like, I honestly don't know what I do. And then maybe that's something like other people could be like, yeah, I don't know what I do either. Because imagine you just gave us like a bullshit answer and you're like, oh, you know, I polish my own toenails, and you don't. Like,
Right.
why lie? You know, I think
Right.
it's so meaningful. It
Kinda
means
like
more.
Who said it? Like, be your authentic self so they can't catch you up. Or,
Paulina,
They're
Paulina
gonna
said
catch
that.
me.
yeah. Yeah. So the same thing. That's kind of what I
Absolutely.
live by too.
Yeah.
I like to sleep. I like to sleep peacefully at night. You know.
Same.
Do you feel like that like a lot of it comes from like maybe, you know, I met Javi, right? Well, everybody knows Javi, but does a lot of your maybe insecurity sometimes come from being with someone who like may always know what they are doing and like are so confident, and then you're like, so like what do I do, you know?
Yeah. Sometimes I'm like. Sometimes I tell Javi, I'm like, Javi, you have like the fun part of the job. Like I got the lame stuff. Like I gotta go meet the accountant. Like I gotta go like pay the garbage bill. You know, like why do you get the fun stuff? Like, but that's just me kind of when I'm a little bit of like annoyed or kind of like. But if anything, I'm Javi's assistant in a way, so he doesn't have it figured out either.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah, and that's what I was gonna say. Not because it like, again, it's not because that's what it actually is.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of times we think that that's what it is. Like, because like my little brother, he seems so confident.
Yeah,
but
he's a natural too, you know?
Yeah,
Like,
but it's like, no, like I tell him like he wants to open up a couple stores, and I'm like, no, we need to do this and that.
Yeah.
And it's like, if we're not doing that, which is a lot of what you do.
Oh, that sounds like a similar dynamic.
Exactly.
Between like you're me and then you know.
Yeah.
Can I ask you could tell me if this is too personal and like you don't have to answer, but we have this conversation, I feel like often, about like alpha females.
Okay.
Like boss bitches,
Yeah.
whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
And like finding a perfect partner for balance. Like Marco claims like an alpha woman cannot be with an alpha man. She needs to be with a beta man. So like in your own dynamic, based on like your relationship with your husband, are you an alpha? Is he an? Because I really don't know your husband at all, so
Okay.
I don't know his personality.
no,
so what's that dynamic like?
Okay, let me see. Let me choose my words.
You know what? I feel like she's more like the alpha. I don't know why.
Well, I mean, just off of meeting
I
you
do
and
have,
hearing
like-
you talk, like you speak with conviction. Like you
Yeah,
give me.
I would say I'm an alpha, but I
Yeah.
also was really attracted to Javi for many reasons. One of the things that attracted me to Javi was the way that he spoke. I think that he's brilliant. I think that he's intelligent, and I think that and first of all, he's not like machista at all. That was
Okay.
like number one for
Yeah.
me, because I didn't want to bump heads with anybody, because I think I might agree with like no two alphas. So that with Javi, like, because I got to know him like that, I respected him. And so that even though I'm an alpha and I could be pushy and I could be dominant, I knew that this is the person I wanted to be with because I respected him. He respected me. And I push it sometimes, don't get me wrong, especially after we've been married like 8 years now. So a veces me paso. Like, you know, I need to calm down a bit. But for the most part, I have a lot of respect for Javi in a way that I don't overcome him, or I don't, you know, or certain tasks or subjects, I let him lead the way. And yeah, that's kind of.
You know what's crazy, that like both of my brothers that are married, their wives are both alphas. And
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
thought about, because we think like there's this huge thing like who's the alpha for my brothers, you know? Because reality is that we're all kind of like that, but they're all more like that. Even my sister, I feel like I'm more nicer or more not
Beta?
more beta, but a lot of people think I'm soft. I don't know.
I see you, beta.
But yeah,
in a bad way.
that's what I think. But I think about it, and both of my sister-in-laws, I feel like they're more alphas. It's crazy because even my nieces will be like, "Mommy's the boss. Mommy's the Dad. You're not the boss. Mommy's the boss."
Wow.
And my brother, when he's around the team, he comes across like the alpha. But I think to your point is like they know, like
Time
What
and place.
areas?
Yeah.
What areas that? They
yeah, and there's times that their wives they do let them. You know,
Yeah.
they're not they let them, but they complement each other well as far as them like taking lead in certain moments, and it's beautiful
Yeah.
to see. It's beautiful to see.
It kind of sounds like, and again, I don't know, so I'm assuming that's why I said it sounds like you all kind of do like the balance game. Like, all right, in this role, like you're alpha, but then in this role, like he allows you to be alpha, maybe.
Yeah,
Is that okay? I don't know. I
In
don't
this role, it's different. Well, different things. Like he takes ownership of what he has to do. So a lot of the stuff is showing face, doing sales. I don't go out and do sales too much as he does. So, and whatever topics, say we're having a sales meeting on him, he has the ball. But when it comes to like, okay, so we're gonna, I'm more of like the money part of it, and so if he has an idea, I'll be like, you know what, that makes sense. Let's go for it. Or hey, like hold up, like that doesn't even make sense. How are you gonna pay for that? You know, kind of.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where we
Awesome.
balance each other out.
But
It's
also, I will say this plot twist. Like, why do we have to have alpha and who's the beta? Or
I mean, I don't.
is there like
the yin and yang of the
yeah,
world.
like it just works. Like, why can't
Like,
it
yeah,
just
if
be?
it works, it just works.
It just works. Like,
Yeah.
fuck.
Yeah, and I don't think people stop to say, okay, are you alpha,
Right.
beta?
No, I say that to say this because it can create. I feel like when you start in certain things, you gotta call them for what they are, right? Because it just makes things easier.
Facts.
But I think when it comes to like control, who wants to be controlled? Nobody wants to be controlled, and I don't think it's. I think alpha and beta gives off the
Negative connotation.
negative connotation that people are
True.
someone's in control. You know what I mean?
Right.
And
I get that.
and so that's why I said like maybe like fuck all that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
because I think alpha has a connotation of being toxic a little bit. You know how these guys are going to like alpha male boot camp and they're all like
Jesus.
Andrew Tate out and like,
God.
you know, that's not necessarily. I didn't think that's how you meant the question.
Right,
You know?
right. That makes sense.
But-
I agree. Like, I don't think you have to necessarily like put a name on it, but I do think, like you said, there's characteristics and traits in a person that you're like, wow, I respect this person because of how they carry themselves. So I trust them to lead me in
Exactly.
this way, and
Yes.
they respect me and trust me to lead when the time calls for it. I think it's just that mutual respect and trust in one another.
Right.
Like knowing like I could be blindfolded and I trust you. You're my partner in all aspects of life. I think that's what's important, not like you're a beta, you're an alpha, you're this. So I agree.
I see, and the only reason why I brought it up is because I've noticed that when that gets brought into like conversations, a lot of people, it just creates so much drama, and I'm like, oh my god, like within relationships, like when my sister-in-laws or my brother, like they'll talk about it, their kids are watching it, and honestly, like my brothers are very respectful, and my sister-in-laws are very respectful. I love both of them, so I don't want it to get misconstrued, but I just feel like even within siblings, like we start saying like who is the alpha and then who is the beta, and it's like I feel like everyone's in control of their own life at the end of the day, and it's like that's what it is.
That's a great point. Oh, I love that. So, Nat, to kind of wrap up, and also, thank you again so much for being here with us today and for sharing your story and
thanks for having
for
me.
being vulnerable. I know some stuff is like, it's not easy to talk about and stuff, and obviously, like, balancing mommyhood and stuff, something that I'm about to go through. You gave some really good ass advice, so thank you for that. What kind of advice would you give for anybody, specifically women, right, who want to get into business or want to, you know, pursue their own business as well? Obviously, you have years of experience, you know, with Big Mich, but also your own with the makeup business and everything too. What kind of advice would you give to somebody?
Okay, let me think. I think that you definitely have to like what you're going to go into. If you want to choose a business, you have to really like it, but you also have to understand it. And don't get me wrong, you don't have to be an expert in the field. If anything, my advice is go into it just because you like it. You don't have to know everything. That used to kind of hold me back in the past.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's not perfect. How are we going to just do it? Because then I think life always comes at you with different opportunities, but also obstacles. So you might as well just keep going. Yeah, but the advice is that know that it's going to be a 24-hour thing for you. So just kind of mentally prepare yourself, or just kind of be ready for those sacrifices where you can't make a party, or you can't do this, or you have to, maybe you can't even afford to go on the trip to London right now because you are about to purchase something for your company, because it's going to be very intertwined with your pay and your business. And so it's it's a big commitment, but if you like it, then it shouldn't be don't be too scared of it, you know, because at the end of it, if you like it, all this BS thing that you're going through is gonna not be such a huge boulder, if that makes sense. Like an obstacle, like it's not gonna be such a huge boulder because you wanna get to the end. Am I even making sense?
No,
You are.
Okay.
No, yeah.
So,
That's how I feel too. I get it. When I'm telling you, I'll be like, you get me.
So just go for it, do it.
Yes.
I mean, obviously be smart, but you don't have to be an expert and you don't have to know it all, because look at me. Like I've done it so far, and I have so much learning to do, and I'm still learning.
Always
You
a
will.
student, right?
You know what I got from what you said? It's like, even when it doesn't make sense, because you love something,
Yeah.
it's going to make sense.
Yeah.
It'll click.
That's good.
It'll click, yeah, or like,
Yeah.
so, but also, you got to know what you're getting into. And
Yeah.
your market. And yeah, Big Mich was the first one to be a fresh michelada jar on the shelf.
Wow.
There was other products that they're like little sauce, like beer, candy, or whatever that was there before, but like something that actually has like an expiration date that has to be kept cold. Big Mich was the first one in Chicago.
Wow.
I'm not going to say in the world or anything like that, but in Chicago, definitely.
And we
were
ride
the
for
first one.
Chicago people.
Yes,
we
never
do.
too
Definitely.
We do.
Yeah, and we make it a point to buy from like Chicago distributors, especially if they're
Nice.
Latino owned. It's a
That's
plus for
amazing.
us. People who make our shirts, people who print our labels. It's all in Chicago. I believe
Supporting
that.
the community. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys are good at that.
But before we wrap up, can you just really quick, what festivals can we find you guys at,
Yes.
or any
You know what?
events?
So the
that you
festival
know
stuff
now?
is coming up really soon. I don't know exactly who's
Okay.
going to be throwing. So right around April is when they start calling for vendors. So I should
Okay.
be able to like update it at
Cool.
the end of April where we're going to be.
I'm sure the Michelada Fest.
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, well,
Definitely.
they'll be there. And where can we follow on social
Yes.
for your accounts?
Official Big Mich on Instagram and on TikTok. And our website is www.bigmich.com. You can also order online if you want to try the product. We have not only micheladas, we have 5 flavors, but we also do things that pair with it, like a chamoy rim or a dab salt rim. You could also use it on fruit. We also have a Bloody Mary.
Oh.
And that won Bloody Mary Festival in Chicago last October. We were like the rookies. We were like our first year in, and we
yeah.
won.
Oh, wow.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Congrats.
I want to say your thing. What do you say? Chicago's official michelada?
Yes.
Okay. How do you say it? Can you say it?
Like, what do you like? Chicago's
Yeah, say it
official
and I'm going to
michelada.
repeat it.
Chicago's official michelada.
Chicago's official michelada.
Chicago's official Michelada.
Yes.
Okay, guys, you heard it.
You heard it here.
500
Thank
times.
you to Nat for being here.
Yes.
Of course.
Go
No,
follow, support.
We
please,
love
all
Big
summer.
Mich.
Yes.
All summer at any festival you go
Yes.
to, when you see that tent, you go over there and say you
Yes.
know us.
Say
I don't know
Never
what that's
Too
gonna do,
Shy
but
sent you.
We don't know what
yeah,
We
say you
don't-
know us.
We
Not
don't
gonna
know
do
what kind
shit,
of
but say you
discount
know
is
us.
gonna get you, but just go over there.
Use the code never to
Use code never too shy at checkout.
You guys want to? We can.
Yeah, let's do that.
Oh my God, have a code. First like deal. Our first brand deal. Yes. We've been working on this for a year.
So
And
funny.
we recording.
Me do it right now.
Actually,
Now we're gonna
Like,
start saying
no.
powered by Big Mich.
No, I could do it so easily. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Oh, we're gonna put the link below.
Yes. Oh my god, that's
Link here.
amazing. And don't forget to follow at Never Too Shy 2 on Instagram. And of course, Paulina Rowe.
At Taco Tati.
At the bra, bro.
And your Instagram?
My personal?
Yeah.
Whatever you wanna
want.
share.
Official Big Mich. And then my personal is Noodly, Noodally.
So
Yeah.
cute.
We love it. Thank you guys.
Thank you guys. And thank you.
Oh my God, today's gonna be the last episode. You see her belly.
Zoom in on
Say
the belly.
goodbye to the belly.
Zoom in on
Bye,
the belly.
bye.
Bye, baby G.
Bye.
Belly G.
Right, you'll see a real baby.
See
Belly G.
see the human G.
Like how
Real
where is
G?
she?
Oh.
Oh, okay. Bye for real now.